Give me that award.
All right. Ooh, turn the volume down on this. All right, so all I see is a picture of our faces on the live.
It is delayed 37 seconds.
Should be about an 18-second delay.
Now I see us.
I see you and my hand.
All right, guys, welcome to YouTube Live Disc Golf Answer Man, where you're just kind of getting a peek into our audio podcast. We'll just say hello and ask how everybody's doing on the live. We only have about 16 people watching, but that's all right. We like having you part of our show.
Thanks for being a part of our show.
Thanks for being part of our show. If you follow us on Instagram, you see that we went live as well.
Talk to some people driving cars.
Yeah,
It's extremely safe.
yeah. If you don't call in when you're driving a car, I never realized I needed to kind of say that.
Stipulation.
What's up, Don on YouTube? Heyo to Andrew and Yo Kyle. Hello to Matthew Wolf. How are you guys doing? If you follow us on Facebook, you need to follow Dynamic Discs Disc Golf Auction Page. Look for it on Facebook. It's an auction page where we auction off rare or just really cool discs that we find in the warehouse. But right now we are at 4 p.m. Central, Derek is going to auction off this one of one. And when I say one of one, it's one of one. It is I don't even know if you call it a prototype or what.
I feel like you just described what one of one is by
When I
saying
say-
the same thing.
When I say it's a one of one,
Look,
I
I'm
mean,
saying
it's
the
actually
the
a one of
same
one.
words I just said.
But when I put an emphasis on the
on the one or
emphasis
the
on the
of?
other syllable,
What do you put it on, one or the of?
the of
One
one.
of.
Of.
So
one.
this isn't. I don't know that you would
One
even
of
call
one.
this a prototype. This is like a pre-prototype.
It's like a proto mold almost.
Yeah, it's like the tester phase.
It was
of
the
really.
actual tester, like the first one out.
They created the Warhorse, and this was the tester, and the Warhorse was changed twice.
2 times.
Not one of one time. Two
One
of two times. It was
two
changed.
times.
And I'm pretty sure that the other ones got fed to the green machine or whatever that guy's
Yeah.
called.
Bye.
And Jeremy stumbled across this while he was in Sweden.
Pulled it out of the garbage.
Yeah, and
I
said, I
I
bet
will
you
take
some
this."
collector will want this.
Yeah.
And this is going to go up on the auction page. So not all of the discs are that rare, but we do have other rare discs on there. So definitely need to follow that on Dynamic or on Facebook. Again, it's the Dynamic Discs Disc Golf Auction page. That's going up today, 4 p.m. Central.
Get it. Do it.
One of one means it's an original. There you go, Master Idiot. Master Idiot was very
One
smart.
of one means it's one of one, though.
But it means one of one.
Think about this for a second.
So don't go outside of that parameter.
Literally one of them.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about it on Disc Golf Answer Man Show.
Is that what we're on?
Yes, we're going to be on the Disc Golf Answer Man Show. We're going to
Nice.
record the audio podcast here in a second. Let me get the audio ready to go.
I'm going to tell you what I'm on, though.
What are you on?
This year's shirt.
The shirt.
Oh, my gosh.
Do
Killing
you guys
the
see
game.
the shirt? There you go, Danny. Show them that shirt. Looks good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll explain that here in a minute. What the story is behind that for our audio people.
Yeah.
Let's see. There is the music. Real quick before we go live, any questions on YouTube that we can get to? Any quick questions?
Not really. Well, here's one. Kyle says, I live in Cheyenne and want to do a trilogy challenge, but I've never run a tournament. Please help.
Do it.
It's actually, Kyle, it's actually pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
You just need to go to trilogychallenge.com, pick a date for your event, and they send you everything that you need. It's plug and play, pretty much tournament in the box as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely check that out. You could also post on the Latitude 64 Dynamic Discs and Westside Discs fan page. I know that there are a bunch of people running events this year who would probably give you some good feedback on what has worked for them and what hasn't.
Or if you have any questions, you can just shoot the email to events@dynamicdisc.com.
Definitely.
And
And
I'll
I
be able to
mean,
answer
Doug
any
knows
questions.
it forwards and backwards for sure.
Someone asked, Robert, who's the contact for the DD Youth team?
That's me.
There you go.
You can actually, if you're trying to get us to look at somebody for sponsorship purposes, you can go to dynamicdiscs.com and click on sponsorship, and then there's a player sponsorship portion. You can fill out an online application for them there. That's the best way to get us, I guess, on the same page about it. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm going out to Twitter to share this. See if we can get more viewers.
Tweet.
Captain Heiser Angle says closest trilogy disc to an Eagle X or L mold. Eagle X is like, man, that's a tough one. Almost like a Trident. The Trident's probably a little bit slower than that, but that's the same sort of speed range. Maybe like a Spark, like one of the Gold Line Sparks.
Are they that overstable? The Eagle X?
It's pretty stable.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't ever quite like a Firebird from their line, but it was always more than a T-Bird. Yeah, so maybe like a Gold Line Spark or something would be good, and then an Eagle L mold is something a little bit straighter than that. You might try from the Latitude side. You might try a Striker. You might also try an Explorer. That if you like the feel of an Eagle, the Explorer doesn't quite feel like an Eagle. I think the Striker has a little bit more feel like that. You also might try a Dynamic Disc Convict. It's probably going to have slightly more turn, but a little bit healthier fade than an L mold.
Or even a Culverin, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Any other questions coming in?
Sean says, "Who's the guy sitting next to Robert?" Welcome back.
Hey, it's good to be back.
He back.
I'll be gone for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say not for
Very shortly.
yeah, very shortly.
I'm here for an hour, and then I'm gone.
Kyle, when you buy a disc from the website, you can get us to sign it. You just need to put in the order notes that you would like our signatures. It'll get sent over to us, and we will sign it for you and get it out soon. Usually that takes a few days for it to come back because some of us are out of the office.
Yeah, keep in mind because Eric's going to do a lot of traveling, so it's not that he doesn't want to sign it.
Right.
It's just that it may be delayed for a bit.
And the problem is, even if you ordered today, he won't be here by the time it gets over here. So you're probably looking at a couple of week delay on that.
Yeah, we're all getting ready to do a lot of traveling as well after Eric does his thing.
Now, if you would like me to emulate his signature or forge it, as somebody might say.
You know what we need? We need like one of your
a stamp. Dude, I would have a stamp.
Bobby, I'd like to know what company you used to get the music license for your promo videos. I'm hoping to do the same thing for promoting our course. There's actually several different places. There's one called artlist.io. There's one called audiojungle.net. And then every now and then you can go onto YouTube, and if you have a YouTube account, I can't remember if you have to have a certain amount of subscribers, but there's a creator studio side where you can actually get royalty-free music there.
Oh, that's cool.
I used to use that.
Yep. And then motionarray.com. So there's several different sites. They have different ways of paying for it. And sometimes I'll tell you what, sometimes it takes me 45 minutes just to find the right song for the mood or for the tone I'm trying to create. So music is a very important part of telling the story.
I had always assumed you just made your own music for the videos.
Every
like
other song.
DJ Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get on with the audio show. Maybe we'll get back to you guys that are answering questions on YouTube. Keep those questions in your queue, in your head, and maybe at the end of the audio show, we'll see if we can get to those. All right, hitting record on the field recorder.
Let's do it.
Checking the volume on here, and let's play a little intro music. Let's not.
Nah.
Can we play some text message received notification music?
I don't know that I have that. All right, let's try
But
this.
it'll happen during the show for sure.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Fans Arena. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and I have with me Eric, Sweep the Leg McCabe,
Yeah.
and Robert, Sweep the Leg McCall.
Hey, what's up, man?
How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Awesome. So Sweep the Leg. If you're watching on YouTube or if you want to catch this show on video, you can go back and watch it on YouTube. They're wearing Sweep the Leg shirts, and if I can try to kind of paint the picture for you guys, it's the sensei for Cobra Kai from Karate Kid.
OG.
The original.
We had these shirts last year, not in time for the event, but just after. So it was before
day
Cobra
after.
Kai. Exactly, which was unfortunate.
Yes.
But it was a year before Cobra Kai became a thing on YouTube.
Yep.
So we're basically trendsetters.
So basically, we're the ones that got Cobra Kai started.
and
So-
yeah, we're waiting
And
on
I
our
can't remember
royalty
his
checks.
name, but I know he was the main guy, the sensei for it. And it says "sweep the leg." It has an image of him with his hand under his, holding his head up. Oh, that disgusting look on his face when his guy's
Johnny.
losing, I guess. And then
Johnny
of
lost.
course,
he told Johnny to sweep the leg.
oh, that's true,
Yeah.
he did. And then it's got the DD crown above the head.
That's a custom.
Yep.
Why-
And
what-
Team DD logos on the back.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the big D's on the back,
Yep.
Team D.
Yep.
So, what is why the shirts?
Well, Robert and I, for the second year in a row, played the Lime Warrior Open doubles tournament
Yep.
at. We played Jones Gold actually, and last year we were just trying to come up with a team name, and we kind of pushed it around a little
Yeah, we
bit.
kicked some weird ones around.
And Sweep the Leg was just something that stuck with us, and
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was because one of us had just watched episode of The Office.
Yeah, it's like season
When,
2, 6, 7, somewhere in there.
When what is it? Michael and
Dwight.
Dwight fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Yes.
And Kevin, it's just for like 2-second little pan to Kevin, and he says, "Sweep the leg."
Sweep the leg.
And they're just kind of like, yeah, that's it. That's
hilarious.
That's what we want. That's
Hilarious,
what we
yeah.
want. So,
So then we got these shirts. They came in, like we said, one day after the tournament last year, but we were able to wear them this year. In retrospect, not the best fabric for
100%
disc golf.
cotton.
Yeah, because it was
very,
90
very,
some odd degrees.
very
Yeah.
cotton, very black, and
Very
it's
hot.
hot outside. So it kind of just attracted the heat to us. We were just, it's basically a handicap we were giving to the other
Yeah,
teams.
Right,
that's
right,
what we
right.
told Rusco.
Yeah, that's right.
So actually, Rusco and Danny played,
Yeah.
and they got third place.
Yeah, because
from guessing from Danny's Snapchat or Instagram, he's a little salty about it. And
Oh, I
then-
didn't see that.
yeah. And then
All right,
second
all
place was Isaiah, and who was his
and
partner?
Bruce,
Bruce,
his
and
uncle
Esquivel.
Bruce,
Oh, nice.
dude, and they
And I'll say something.
killed.
For those people that are familiar with Jones East, we played Jones Gold, but the final hole on Jones Gold is hole number 7 on Jones East, which is the hole on the Long Island hole that's on top of the hill with the flagpole.
People usually play a big wide hyzer
yep,
first,
play
and
big
then play
hyzer.
down to the island green.
Yep. Last year, Robert and I got a 2 on it because there was really good wind conditions, and
Yep.
I put my drive up there really well. So this year I'm like, I'm gonna do that again,
Mm-hmm.
and I did. I put it on the green again,
Okay.
but it was like way shorter than last year. It was a tough putt.
It's
But
probably
then
40 feet.
Isaiah's group was 2 groups behind us, and they're like, I saw them walking up the fairway, a couple guys in their group, and they're like, we're gonna watch just because Isaiah said he's going for it. Keep in mind, Isaiah is a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah, he's taller than me. Most people are, but he's 14 and taller than me.
Put
so,
it on the island.
Yeah.
He put it on the island.
It's really
What did
unbelievable.
he throw?
I would assume a Ballista Pro or a Ballista of some
Harry.
sort, but I honestly don't know what he threw.
It could be a defender.
What he threw.
It looks
True.
like a bio something.
It could have been a bio defender, but ridiculous shot.
Yeah.
For-
I mean,
just-
it's a 500-foot plus
Yeah.
shot.
Just for reference, like I hit. So Eric went for the green. We were going to play it. He goes for it. If he goes OB or whatever, doesn't make it, I'm just going to play a safe hyzer. We'll secure our 3. So Eric went for it first and got it on the green. So I didn't. I mean,
Go
what
for
else
it.
could I do
Why not?
but go for it? I've never tried to go for it, and I came up probably short of the island, probably like 20 feet, maybe 25. And
But it
I
was
got
safe.
Yeah, I was safe, but like I fully connected with a shot. Like I hit it hard.
Yeah.
And Isaiah just just a little 40 past
Nah.
that on the island, no big deal.
Excellent. So the event was actually called the Lime Warrior
Lime Warrior.
Lime
Open.
Warrior Open.
Open. Okay. And it's if you're familiar with Derek, who's our sponsorship coordinator, it's his kind of fundraising awareness thing for his wife Nikki, who has Lyme disease.
That's right.
And I mean, I knew. Okay, so how do I knew it was a bad thing,
Right.
I mean, and I knew partly of it from Johnny McRae saying about things that he's not feeling well and stuff like that. And I was thought, but there's actually, if you go to Facebook and you go to Lime Warrior, I don't know the full name, but it's Lime Warrior something.
Lime Warrior Disc Golf.
Is it
Or
Lime Warrior?
DG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a video that Nikki posted, and she turned on the camera when she was having like an attack, a Lyme disease.
It's awful.
I cried.
It's debilitating.
That was so. I was
Yeah.
like, my gosh, to have that where you just can't. She was, and I think she wrote a comment, or someone, Derek maybe, kind of wrote a comment what was happening, that she couldn't. You can't control it. You just kind of have
Can't
to
move.
ride that
Yep.
that wave of pain, and it was.
Yeah.
It was just like
It was brutal.
I was watching it, trying like, what is going on? And her mouth was kind of drooping, and it's just like, man, I just felt for her, and I was like, I am
Ticks are
checking
no
for
joke.
ticks
Seriously.
no matter what.
Yeah.
And so they're just trying. They're using this thing that happened to her. They don't want other people to have to go through it. So Derek created this it's not a company, a whatever it is, Lime Warrior Disc Golf, to raise awareness. He has events. He does really cool giveaways and stuff like that. But the whole purpose is to make people aware that put something on to prevent the ticks from getting on you.
Yeah, they've got products for that. They've got
Yeah.
something called War Paint, which is a tick repellent. They also have tick keys, so if a tick does get on you, you can get it off properly.
Yes,
even
and
if-
I can't stress enough. Like, people don't understand you. Like, you see all these things on Facebook or online that, like, hey, here's a great way to remove a tick. Just put like alcohol on it, and it opens up right away. Well, I've read some articles, and Derek and Nikki have both told me that putting like they take a lighter to tweezers and then touch it, and it freaks out and pulls out. Well, what they say happens when you do that, or if you squeeze it off you,
Doesn't it kind of?
it regurgitates
Right.
all of it into your mouth, or from its mouth, into your system, and that's how you.
That's where you get the bad stuff.
That's
can
where the
happen.
Lyme disease potentially.
So-
comes from.
Dangerous stuff for sure.
Yeah, so definitely if you use stuff, use it. If you use it, or if you don't, when you get off the course, check yourself. Even I don't care how. I'm gonna keep it real. Go keep it real. I have my wife check me in places that I
Absolutely.
can't see
Same.
It's scary.
because I
they're
don't
not
want
fun.
that. I don't want that. So get somebody, a significant other, to check you, even if it feels weird, if it's
Even
funny.
if they're not your friend.
Yeah, that might be weird.
Pardon me, person I've never met before.
Yeah,
No,
so-
it is serious stuff, and all the proceeds for everything that they raised
Yeah.
for that event went to her medical benefits,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's
Yeah,
great
to
It's-
continue to raise awareness.
Exactly.
So
We just missed the elusive 18 under this year.
We did.
We shot a 17 under 53,
Which
on-
we
on
won.
the-
We beat our record last year.
We shot a 54 last year. Although last year we had 3 eagles.
Yeah.
This year we just had the 1 eagle.
One eagle and a
But-
bunch of birdies.
Bunch of birdies, 2 pars, and the 2 pars were on really easy holes.
Yeah.
Well,
On
hole
par
1
threes.
east isn't that easy, but we had a look.
No.
It was
Yeah.
next year.
You earlier you heard Eric say Jones Gold. If you're familiar with Emporia, ever thought about visiting Emporia, it's not a normal course in the sense that it's not a layout you'll see on the signs. It is a combination between Jones East and Jones West. It's a long. Have you ever measured the course?
It's like over 10,000 feet.
Yeah,
So
it's right
some of
around
the
there.
some of the holes are a mix of east and west, and then some of the holes are and I say mixed. In other words, you might
It's like
play,
a big safari layout.
yeah,
basically.
and so you might shoot, and I'm just totally making this up, but you might throw from hole 7, but you're throwing to hole 15's
Yeah.
basket of the other course.
yeah, right.
But you can go on our website, I believe,
Well, you can go to the Emporia Disc Golf page on Facebook and
and
just
find a course
search Jones Gold, and
Yeah.
the course map will be
layout,
on
and there's
there.
a map. If you ever want to come, just know that you're going to have other people playing the course regular, so you might.
And most of the
interrupt
time, I mean, there's only a couple holes that really will affect that.
Mhm.
So,
But it's a beatdown. Like come ready to throw a lot.
Yes.
It's a long course.
it's so much fun. Though.
Super fun. We had a great
Cool.
time.
All right, so the other thing, real quick, I wanted to mention before I forget is, we'll get to that here in a minute. Trilogy challenges. So I've been seeing on Facebook a lot of people having a great time at their trilogy challenges. I really think that every company has knocked that out of the park when it comes to the disc, because in years past we've had some people, certain discs were like, man, this disc is just
Kind
no
of a
good.
flop for most
Blah,
people.
yeah, but every disc so far, someone has really liked it, and they thought, the so and so is okay, but these two are definitely going in the bag, or this one's going in the bag. So you can't even point one out, but like I've seen the Patrol, people loving the Patrol, the way it turns. The Maiden, they love the straight flight of the Maiden. They love the shallow feel of the Maiden. And the Musket, though,
Yeah.
a lot of people are throwing that Musket.
People
and
are
they're
digging on that.
Yeah, they're digging on the Musket. So if you haven't tried out a Trilogy Challenge yet, go to trilogychallenge.com, look for the event tab, see if there's one in your area. If there isn't one in your area, man, I'm telling you,
Run
get
one.
out there and,
Yeah, make
and
it
run
happen.
one. It's like a tournament in a box type
Super
thing.
easy.
And you can raise money for your events or for yourself or
Absolutely.
for whatever
the
you want.
the self-preservation fund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, check that
We're
out.
out here.
The
We're
me
out here
fund.
fundraising this weekend. What's the charity? Myself.
The human fund.
Yeah.
There you go. The human
This is
fund.
my survival
The
fund.
human
Thank you.
fund. So, all right. If you're watching us on YouTube and you're asking questions, Robert will try to answer some of those in the chat. If not, we'll get to those here a little bit later. But right now, we're going to concentrate on the audio people that are. No, never mind. The audio people that are listening, we'll get their questions that people have submitted. Now, Eric, you've done some traveling. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But let's jump on some questions. What do you
Let's do
say?
Do it.
All right, first one comes from Trace.
Hey, disc golf fans, man. This is Trey.
It's nope. Hold on. My volume is on for that. Let's turn that off and go back to Trace.
Hey, disc golf fans, man. This is Trace from Orlando, Florida. And I wanted to talk about the foot fault situation and Ricky Wysocki. I hear all these people talking about
I don't.
Ricky's trying to cheat and he's trying to gain an advantage. And what I hear there is people are saying that Ricky Wysocki, the two-time world champion and probably the best disc golfer on earth right now, is trying to gain an advantage over his opponents by stepping 6 to 9 inches max in front of the line on some of his drives, risking getting called a foot fault in an extra stroke. I just don't buy that. I don't buy that 1 second at all. I think it's much more likely it's just coincidental. And from the Masters Cup, every single time that I saw him foot fault, it was on a tee pad where it was a sidewalk, so there's not like an end of the concrete. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. What do you guys think? Thanks. Bye.
Strip him of all of his trophies.
No. So I mean, I guess it's kind of
Sorry, man.
Sorry, dude.
There's no getting around it. I mean, someone asked a question about the whole Valerie Jenkins and getting DQ'd and stuff like that, and we just said, you know what, it happened to what it is. But I guess there's no way to get around these big topics that happen, especially when it comes to Ricky Wysocki. People are going to expect us to talk about it because of the connection with Latitude 64. So I'll just give my opinion on it. I haven't watched all the footage.
Yep.
I haven't watched the whole Masters Cup and everything like that, but I have watched a few of the people posting videos of,
Or screenshots.
or screenshots of people kind of analyzing and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm with you, Trace. Ricky is not at all trying to gain an advantage by overstepping the tee pad line by a few inches. Does he need to be called on it? Yeah, if he violated a rule, then he needs to be called on it. But the thing is these people calling him cheaters and then attacking his integrity and stuff like that. Give me a break.
You trolls.
Come on, guys. That's
Sorry.
come on. I mean, that's just going a little too far. Now I'm a little biased because I know the guy. I don't know him that well, but I've hung out with him a lot more this year than I ever have before, just because of the connection that we have with Latitude 64. He's a great guy, and he just loves playing the game. He wants to play it well. I'm not gonna make any statements as to what he's thinking. Like, is he just not paying attention? Does he not care? I can't state to that, except to the fact that I know him a little better than maybe some of these trolls do, and I can tell you that it's not something he's doing on purpose. Does he need to be a little more mindful? Probably about things like that, but
I'll give my 2 cents on
Yeah.
it as a player and seeing all the videos and the screenshots and all that. Honestly, at real time, I can't 100% say, "Oh, dude, you foot fault." Plus, I mean, those camera angles are the best camera angles that you're gonna get as a player when you're there. You don't have that same angle.
You may not even be looking at his feet.
Not to mention, I never look at his feet. I'm sure I'm concentrating on my game is what I'm doing, 100% trying to focus on my game. I watch the shots to where they go because I'm supposed to, and I want to know what's going on the card. But for the most part, I don't care what you're doing, and it's not like he's trying to gain an advantage, like Bobby said. And to me, it's just every time a video comes out now, it's like, oh boy, here comes the. It's kind of like the meme, brace yourself, here comes the foot fault calls.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's just
the guy holding the sword just waiting for winter.
It's getting old. It's getting old.
Here's where I'm at on foot faults, and this goes for Ricky or anybody else. A foot fault is like a foul in basketball, right? Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not. All right, so here Eric and I are out playing one-on-one, as we do on a regular basis.
Daily.
Yeah, and I'm getting ready to shoot, and Eric puts a hand up in my face and just kind of taps my arm on the way. Okay, maybe we say
all disc.
Yeah, that's right.
All disc.
I was putting, and then Eric hit my arm. No, like we would call a foul on that because accidental contact happened, but it wasn't like Eric got in my face and was like, oh, trying to hit my arm super hard or prevent me from making the shot. Same sort of thing in disc golf, right? I think there are people who use foot faults to their advantage on purpose, right? They don't take a legal stance because they are trying to gain an advantage. To me, it doesn't seem like Ricky is like that. I think he's focused on other things. And here's what it comes down to. All right, so they post a screenshot of his foot planting past the tee box, and it is more difficult because it's a sidewalk and the concrete continues on after the line. But if you see that and you're on his card, call him, because it's a foul. Intentional or not, it's a foul. It should be called. And the only people who can get upset about it not being called are people who are on his card, because it's their responsibility and no one else's.
Or other players in the field.
Yeah, and that's they're welcome to do that. That's totally cool. But otherwise, I don't think it's your prerogative to say, Ricky foot faulted. He's such a bad guy. Okay, first of all, no, he's not. But second, the people who are responsible for that are the people who are on his card. Yeah. He got called on a foot fault a couple of times, and as he should have. If you foot fault, it's like a foul. You need to get called on it. You serve the penalty. You move on.
All right, let's move on to the next question. Talking about moving on, let's move on.
Hi, Disc Golf Answer Man. This is Max. I picked up the Captain and the Maverick, so I love them both. I tend to throw the Maverick quite a lot on any line, depending on my release angle. The hyzer flip has become a very trusted shot in my bag. And the Captain, I do small flips or sometimes turnovers. It depends on how frisky I am and how it feels for the day.
Risky.
I've only been playing for a year, which makes it quite hard with the release angles. I've just started on release angles this spring, so it's somewhat consistent, but still feels a bit too inconsistent. But I've started throwing max power shots from the tee, even in tighter gaps, and I tend to hit them, which is a lot of fun. But because of this, I have lost a lot on my upshot game, and my putter game and my mid-range game is a lot worse. That's why I'm wondering, what should I do to try to fix that? My max power shots are more accurate than just a 100-footer, 150-footer. I max out at maybe 300 feet. So let me know what you think about that, and see you around. Thanks.
Awesome.
It's a good question.
You want to go? You want me to?
You go ahead and go first.
All right. So here's what I think about upshot and touch game, and it's something, because I've started playing golf some more lately, I'm learning once again about these types of sports. And that's that when you're hitting a shorter shot, or for us, when you're throwing a shorter approach shot, you have to execute it as if it's the end of a full power shot, right? You still have to accelerate through on every single throw. Now, whether it's 100 feet, whether it's 200 feet, I don't care. For me, if it's a little bit shorter shot, I'll decrease my reach back just a little bit, but I still have to accelerate all the way through to ensure the disc is starting on the line it's supposed to be on, and that it has the power to get there.
Yep.
I'm not throwing it full power. I'm not reaching back all the way and throwing it like I would a distant shot, but that acceleration and hitting that point with complete acceleration and follow through, that's what makes those shots worthwhile. I compare it to golf because around the green, when you're chipping, if you're not accelerating through the ball, which I do very often and get very mad, you hit awful shots. Same in disc golf. If you're not accelerating through those shots, you are not going to throw good up shots. Plain and simple.
Follow through is still very, very important.
Definitely.
There's really not a lot you can do as far as like training wise to do it, as opposed to just going out and practicing it on it. It's kind of like everything in disc golf. Everybody wants that, that one secret of something that they can do, but honestly, a lot of it is just hard work in the field.
Yeah, and it's feel. Like so much of your upshot game is about feel. Like you could, if we went out in a field right now and Eric said, throw this disc 120 feet, I could probably get it within 10 feet of that, but because I've thrown so many 120-foot shots.
Yep.
And so that's the same as when I step up to the basket, I kind of get a sense of where that is, and then it's just feel. That's all it is.
Yep.
And that comes from muscle memory.
Exactly.
Excellent. All right, next question comes from Shazir, a.k.a. Vash.
What's up, Eric? Leave me a message because I'm out making disc golf courses. K.
Fair.
Robert, 2018 Hair Model of the Year, McCall. Bobby Blue Jean Bouncer Brown. This is Jezzer. I just want to give a shout out to you guys and the company for making some awesome molds this year. Currently, I'm bagging the Captain, which has replaced my Destiny and Ballista, and the Lucid X Trespass, which has actually replaced my Moonshine Trespass and taken out my Lucid Defender.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Lucid Convict X, which I've had Convicts, but I'm just picking up this one, and I really love it as far as for forehands. The Explorer, I have like 50 different Explorers, and basically all the plastics that are out. It's replaced my Saint and my Saint Pro. The Anvil the SE version has replaced my Justice, and my Maverick is still in the bag waiting to be used. So, what has been replaced with these new molds in your bags? All right, thanks guys. See you later.
Well, new to my bag from the discs that are out this year, the Explorer is absolutely one of them. I would say the disc that it replaced in my bag, fairways are tough for me. I used to throw the Convict quite a bit and the Saint Pro quite a bit, and I never really, I wouldn't say not liked them, but they never really grooved with me very well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Explorer it definitely replaced those two discs. For me, I can get the disc to fly like a longer EMAC.
Yep.
So that's really the Explorer, but the other one, the Ballista Pro, obviously, I don't know that it replaced anything, but it kind of like the Maverick, it goes in and out. The Maverick goes in and out of the bag, but the Ballista Pro, like the Maverick, it wasn't like any other disc. So
right.
I wouldn't say it ever really replaced anything, but those are really the only two. The Ballista Pro, did it come out this year, or was it?
That was this year, early this
Ballista
year.
Pro and the Explorer are really the only two new molds in my bag. The Maverick will go in and out of the bag depending on the course I'm playing. If I'm playing something a little more tighter, a little more wooded for those hyzer flip shots, but for courses around here, it doesn't serve a purpose in my bag.
Yeah, I'm using the Maverick in place of the Escape I was throwing before because I found myself throwing the Escape a little too far, too often. It wants to stay in the air forever, and that's awesome sometimes, but sometimes you really just want the disc to only go, 320, 330 on something like that. And so that's what I love the Maverick for. I throw the Explorer in place of, I had a Convict or two that I really liked, and then I had a Culverin that I liked as well. And that just kind of covers both of those slots for me. I like the feel, and I like that I can just throw it straight for a long time and then just know that it's going to finish barely left.
Yep.
And then the Ballista Pro's probably replaced most Defenders in my bag. I've got... I still carry a couple of Defenders, one for forehands, one for big hyzers, and one like pretty mean Enforcer. And most of the rest of my distance shots are Ballista Pros or a Trespass somewhere in there.
Yeah, Trespass too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What was the question he asked?
What of the new
molds?
discs what of the new molds replaced in your bag?
Sorry, I was trying to read questions for the next one.
Yeah.
The Maverick is a new disc. I don't know.
It's replacing your Thief, I would think.
Yes, the Thief for sure. And sometimes when I throw the Maverick, I'll think, what if I should have thrown the Renegade? So I'm trying to figure out which. I'm trying to get better with shot selection. Right. In other words, maybe I should have thrown a Renegade rather than a Maverick. Could I have gotten a little more distance with the Renegade?
Sure.
I don't know. So, I think that's really it. What else? The Deputy was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you're not throwing the Captain right now.
Deputy was last year.
No.
Yeah, I'd say the Maverick is your big one.
Yeah. So, all right. Next one is from Robert McCabe.
No,
that's what it says right here.
All right.
It says, have you ever played a round where your competitor and you play as each other's caddies?
No.
Rules are simple. Your caddy decides your disc and type of shot until you're within putting range. Okay. So, yes, they can make you throw a forehand roller when the pin is 600 feet away. Played it once, and it led to some good laughs. What are the chances you guys film a few holes in this format?
We should do that Ripped Revenge game or something like that.
Yeah,
that'd be
something
fun. It's
along
very
those
similar,
lines.
but it's not. There's no caddies really involved. It's more. You
Yeah.
just draw a card, and whatever the card says is what you have to do.
You have to do it like you have to drive with your Mini on this tee or something.
No.
Yeah, I think stuff like that would be super fun, especially if there's something on the line and neither of you want to lose. Yeah, things like that are fun. We haven't done that before, but I could see that. I could see us enjoying that for
Yeah.
sure. Except for I would tell Eric to throw forehand, and he'd be like, "I don't throw a forehand." And then he
Oh,
throws
yeah,
he throws a really good forehand. Like that's how it happens every time. It's the worst.
He's not lying.
Yeah, I don't see us filming it though. I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, we're not filming it. Good.
Next one comes from Anonymous. This is a question about rules. If on your throw the disc goes out of bounds, back in bounds, and then back out of bounds again, which OB do you take the throw from?
The last one is the answer. Really, when you're bringing your disc back inbounds, it's the last point that it was inbounds is where you take your shot from. Unless there's a new rule this year, and we haven't seen it yet. It hasn't been at any of the rules or any of the tournaments that I've played this year. But tournaments can make a special exception to take the disc inbounds at the nearest point of inbounds if a special exception is made, like if they advertise that ahead of time. So that would be, I mean, I can't really think of a situation where that would be beneficial, but I know that that's one of the new options. Otherwise, it's just the last point where the disc was in bounds. Doesn't matter if it was out of bounds before that and came back in, back out, back in. It's just the last point that it was in bounds.
Gotcha.
Yep. Or you can re-tee
You can always re-tee.
or rethrow.
Next one comes from. Let's find our next one. That is not a good one.
Get it out of here.
That's not a good question.
Oh, another rules one. From they did not fill in their name. What division would a
Uh-oh.
You going to keep it real?
This question is keeping it real. I don't know that we have the answer for this one. We're not.
I'm ready.
We're not PDGA.
The PDGA answer man.
Yeah. What division would a transgender play in?
Oh.
I played with one the other day in a casual round. I was just wondering if they played in a tournament. What division would they play in? We're not the governing body, so PDGA would have to make that decision.
Yep.
I'm not going to make that call because I'm not a governing body
it's not your
for
decision.
disc golf. So once that becomes a thing that PDGA has to figure out, and I don't know if they've started to figure it out.
They have.
Oh, they have probably had to look
Yeah,
at
I mean,
it.
I've known of competitors who were either transgender or had transitioned who were playing in their new gender's field. Yeah.
So you'd have to consult the PDGA to see what that is. Unfortunately, we are not the disc golf answer man on that question. This next one is about discs. JT, hey everyone, I putt with a Deputy in Classic Blend plastic. During the winter, I was putting pretty good, but since it's warmed up, I seem to be having a little trouble with it hyzering out a touch too early. Is the Classic Blend plastic a little more stable than the Classic plastic, or is it just me?
Is the Classic Blend more stable?
Plastic a little more stable than the Classic plastic.
Shouldn't
I think
be.
I mean, if it is,
Could
it's
be.
very minimal.
Yeah.
I would say not enough to really tell. I don't know. I switch plastics from winter, colder months to now. Like I usually putt with a medium or a blend plastic throughout the winter, and then when it's summer and hot, I'll putt with something like a retro or something a little more stiff, like a prime, maybe even a classic. It just kind of depends.
Yeah, I don't think it should be more overstable than those plastics. At least not so. On a putter, I think it'd be hard to tell. On a thrower, it might be a little bit easier to tell just because it's traveling farther. But on those putters, I don't think it should show too much of a difference in stability.
Excellent. Next one is from Ben.
Hey friends, I wondered if you could tell me the difference between the Convict and the Explorer. That would be great. Thanks so much.
Convict and Explorer.
You thrown both of these.
I do.
You do now.
I don't currently, but I have quite a bit. Yeah.
For me personally, the Explorer, the Convict was always a great disc.
Yeah.
I liked the way it flew. It was just a little too finicky for my arm speed, I think. So I would have to watch on the angles I put the disc on, as where the Explorer just seems to be a little bit more predictable for me, and I think I get a more predictable flight from what I want my fairway drivers to do, which is relatively straight with a nice fade at the end of the flight, as where the Convict, it would do that, but there would be, a couple times that I would get it to drift, and it would just hold the right line a little too long or hyzer out a little too early. And a lot of that probably just comes from the stability of the disc.
Mm-hmm.
But so there's not a whole lot of different depending on your arm speed that you'll be able to tell the difference of, but there is some.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say for me, the Convict had more of a tendency to move a little bit more right than the Explorer, and then it actually finishes harder left than the Explorer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I threw a Convict and Explorer next to one another, the Explorer might end up a little bit farther left, but the Convict kind of dives a little bit more left at the very, very end. So it has pretty strong low speed stability, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the Convict for kind of shaping shots in the woods. If I need something to move to the right and then come back left, that was super money for that. And then I had some that were just pretty straight that flew pretty much exactly like an Explorer does today. I liked the feel of the Explorer just a little bit better for myself. I like this that it's slightly slower than a Convict, which means I can just control it a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So for the last 4 or 5 years, maybe it's 4 years, we've done something really cool, and we've taken disc golf to some unusual places. And that first one being AT&T Stadium. We played some disc golf there, and it was really cool. We did it there 3 years. Amazing. Had 450 people, 500 people come out at each event and play. Then after that, we went to Tennessee. For the disc golf experience at Nissan Stadium, and then Mike Solt, Mr. Disc Golf, took it to Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania and had a blast there. He's doing it again this year for the third time, and I think he's even adding another course or something. He always does it up more.
Another day or something.
Yeah, something like that, just to go big again, which is really cool. But in 2 weeks, we are headed out for our third event with DD. When I say our, I guess I mean because we're putting it together. Anyway,
football stadium.
That's what I'm trying to get at. The third time at a football stadium. We're going to Arrowhead, which is in Kansas City, technically Missouri, right?
It is Missouri.
It's Kansas City, Missouri, but of course, being so close, us Kansans like to. Yeah, I just call myself a Kansan.
Hey.
We identify ourselves with the Chiefs and the Royals, so we're going to go out there and set up 9 holes.
Correct.
9 holes, 9 baskets out there to play some disc golf in Arrowhead Stadium. There are actually 9 spots left. If you happen to watch this or if you're listening and you're trying to figure out something to do in the next 2 weeks and you're close by, come out. We got 9 spots. Get signed up at discgolfscene.com. Come throw some Frisbees inside a stadium.
I think the 9 spots that are available are player spots, and there's other options as well. The $10 just to come spectate.
Yeah, if you just want to come watch and spend the day out there for a little bit and see what it's really all about, you can spend, I think, about $10 and check that out. But if you want to play, we have 9 spots left, and you can pick a tee time. Now, they're going to be pretty sporadic, so if you got like a bunch of buddies, it's going to be hard probably for you guys to go off at the same time.
Yep.
But you all can still come out and have a good time. I think it's going to be great. We're going to be doing
excited.
some video stuff. I'm going to see if I can do some drone. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Rip.
Get in trouble. Eric will be out there. Robert will be out there, right? I'll be out there. I know Anthony's going to go out there. He's going to work for a little bit and then be able to play. I can't remember. Is Danny's going to be out there? So
the course is going to be fun too. Doug and I went out there February or March, I think.
When it was still nice and cold.
And it was like cold. I'm like, wow, this is going to be awesome when it's cold. You were there too, right? Did you go out when we designed the course?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it was
freezing.
Not much fun.
Ridiculous, but the course is going to be fun.
Yes.
Like that last hole, if the uprights are right, are up like they're supposed to be. Ooh, it's going to be good
Did you
times.
keep the one hole with the?
Oh yeah, there's a Mando roller hole.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Gonna be awesome.
I cannot wait for this.
So yeah, that's going to be a good time. So like I said, if you want to 9 spots, if you think you can make it, look into coming out there. And June 16th is the actual day. I think me and Eric or so a few people are going to go out there early on Friday night, hang out. Maybe I don't know how it's going to work out. Hang out for a little bit, but be ready for that for the next day. I'll do a bunch of video, of course, and I'm sure Eric and Robert and everybody will be doing some Instagram type stuff, so you guys can kind of watch along with that. Now that's the little traveling that we're doing, but Eric is doing a lot of traveling. Starting
Very many
starting
travelings.
like 2 months ago.
2 months ago. Starting tomorrow, he's going on something that's kind of on a bucket list, I would say.
It is. It's
Talk about that.
absolutely a bucket list. And I thought just going to Maine and designing that course was going to be awesome in a bucket list. It was awesome, don't get me wrong. But,
Yeah.
But no, tomorrow, this has been about a year in the works now. But tomorrow about 7 a.m. we fly out. Denise is going with me this time. 'Cause
Nice.
it's a
Cool.
a bucket list trip, like you said.
Well, yeah.
and So she's never been, I've never been, and it's going to be a great time. We're going to Alaska. We're going to just northeast of Anchorage. It's a piece of land that has like 400 acres on it, and there's a 40-acre lake. The guy I've been talking to out there, he's been sending me some pictures, and he just told me that the sun doesn't even set until like 11:30 p.m.
Whoa.
That's awesome.
So, fun times are in the works. We fly out tomorrow morning. We have a 24-hour layover in Seattle.
Oh, wow.
So,
Dang, man.
I don't know what we're going to do at the airport the whole time, but no,
Just
kidding.
explore
We're just
all
gonna
of
go
it.
check out the
Walk-
terminals, see
Is it
what
gonna
we
be
can
like, what's
find,
that-
see what kind of food there is.
B12.
Yeah.
Oh,
ooh,
B13.
What was that Tom Hanks movie, Terminal, where he got stuck in a terminal?
Yeah. But no, we're obviously gonna go explore Seattle tomorrow and play maybe play a course. I know that there's a tournament there this weekend, so we're kind of hoping to play one of the courses because it should be set up for it. But
Yeah.
hang out there. But the Alaska deal, we're super stoked on going up there and not just going up there to visit, but to go up there and design a course.
Oh, that's just cool.
That's gonna be awesome.
I have to bring you guys with me for the ribbon cutting on that one.
I'm
That would be
interested.
fun. Make sure that Denise takes. I know she will, but make sure she takes a lot
We
of
bought
pictures.
we bought a brand new memory card just for this trip.
Just for the trip,
so
good.
I'm pretty
Nice.
sure we're gonna use it.
Good.
If you have you met Andy Nichols? I know we've talked about
Yes.
this. I think
Yeah.
this is the time of year that he'll be up there.
I
So
think you're right.
If you get to see him, tell him I
Yeah,
said what's up.
that'd be cool.
Cool dude.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of clue? Is it going to be like a very wooded? I can't remember if you said it, very wooded area you're doing.
Pretty
it?
wooded area. The pictures that I've been getting are pretty wooded. A lot of birch trees, which is always fun to play through.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's a 40-acre lake that sits right in the middle of the property. So
Is that what they gave you to put it on? Is the lake?
the
Like
lake,
you have to.
floating baskets.
Ah, man. It's
But no,
gonna be-
we're
it's gonna be
actually
tough.
and there's like cabins, apartments, or something that are on the property that we're going to be staying at.
Nice.
So we're there.
That's so cool, man.
We're there.
Very
It's
cool.
gonna be so much fun.
That's good. Now, but you go after somewhere after Is it straight Alaska, then the European thing we're
Well,
doing? Or?
like my travel has been. I was in Maine for a week and a half.
Yeah.
I came home for like 3 days. Went to Texas.
Yeah.
Finished up that event. Came here. Going to Alaska for 2 weeks. Coming home for like a week, and then we go to Europe.
Okay.
Bang.
So then
2
the
weeks.
Euro trip. Okay.
So all over
Excellent.
the racking up
Excellent.
them miles.
Yep.
Except Southwest doesn't fly to Alaska or
Oh,
Europe.
Thanks
so.
a lot, Southwest.
So no miles at all.
No
huh?
miles on those two. But the rental car, if I get a rental car and all that, I can get it through my points.
Oh,
and all that
okay.
stuff,
That's
so.
good. That's
Nice.
good. So yes, Alaska is a bucket list thing. It's really cool. But if you guys anywhere, Eric will travel anywhere. Just
You name it.
Ask him. Course sales at dynamicdisc.com. See what can be worked out. Eric is anxious to travel even more to get some courses in the ground for disc golf. Let's head back
If they
to
want to fly me out to watch Eric put a
Just
course
do
in
it.
the ground, I'm also open
He
to
is
that.
also interested,
That's right.
next question comes from
especially to Alaska or.
Yeah, any of those places.
Hawaii.
I'm a
I
great-
might.
I was gonna say before you go any further,
yeah.
Hawaii is the 50th state that I need to visit after Alaska. So I'm interested.
I'd call myself a pretty good supervisor for
I'm
things like
interested.
that. So just if you're out there,
Next one comes from Steven.
Hey guys, just want to say love your videos, love what you guys are doing with the community and growing the sport. It's so awesome that you're doing that. I live here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and just starting to see so many dynamic tournaments all over the place. And I just love that, you know, it's just reaching this far out here. So my question is, if someone was looking to go pro, what are like the key skills that players should have? Would it be like making your putts in at the 33 mark, or would it be parking the basket with your disc, you know, at 325 feet away for a birdie tap? And like, are those things like what makes a player pro, or is it more of like playing more conservative wise? So yeah, if you guys can just give me a quick simple answer on that, that'd be great. You guys stay cool. See you later, Bobby.
later, Bobby.
See you, Bobby.
Hey, where's Bobby?
Yeah, dude. Shay and I still joke about that all the time.
I wanted to when I saw you on the street the other day.
Yeah.
You were driving up Industrial. I wanted to
Yeah.
yell out the window, but you were
Hey.
already too far.
Hey, man, where's Bobby?
Bobby?
God.
What's the secret? He wants the secret.
I don't think it's a secret. I think
No,
he's
it's
saying,
a
like,
secret.
Okay, it's
and
a
we
secret.
can't tell anybody but him.
That's right.
Go ahead and tell him.
It's an EMAC truth in the bag.
That's what it is. No, for someone who's looking to turn pro, what do you need to do better in order to do that?
I would say consistent rounds
Yeah,
is a big part of it.
that's
Consistent
that'd be pretty
rounds.
high up there.
400-foot accurate shots.
Ish.
I mean,
yeah.
around that
Mhm.
number. It's not like that's the exact number by any
Right.
means, but yeah, your putter really shouldn't be touching the ground from inside 20.
Yeah. I would say the big ones would be once you're inside, 200, 150, somewhere in there, especially on those par 4s, par 5s, you need to be getting up and down, plain and simple. Your scramble game needs to be really good. So if you're off the fairway, you need to find a way to make par, or you need to pitch out and take your bogey and not bring the big numbers into play. But then, yeah, I think the thing that separates the very top guys from the advanced and intermediate guys is that they're just great putters. That once they get close to the basket, they make every stroke count. I think if you're a great putter, you could move up to open, and even if you're not getting opportunities on every single hole, you're going to make up strokes on the field because you're not going to spend your time 2-putting, 3-putting, 4-putting, things like that.
Can I answer it from a whole different angle?
Yeah.
If you want to be a touring player,
Oh, yeah.
then the secret is know how to market yourself.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say the secret is don't do that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Or the secret is have a large bank account.
Or
before you go out.
either have a large bank account
They both work.
or know how to market yourself. Have some business savvy because it's not easy being green out there.
Being cheesy.
Yeah, it's
a good point.
just, it's just we don't even
Think about the best guys out there,
right.
right?
Ricky Wysocki.
There is something in common with all of them.
He goes out to
They all know
amateur.
how to brand themselves.
He goes out to amateur events and he does a clinic and he sells discs to keep himself on the road. I mean, it's just all.
And he performs well.
And he
And it
performs
turns
well.
out he's pretty good at disc golf also.
So, all right, next one comes from Alex from Olympia.
Nice.
What's up, Disc Golf Answer Men? Recently started listening to the podcast. Great so far, a lot of good info. Figured I'd submit my own question. A little bit of background on this one. I used to throw a turn for distance. Really great, glide. Some healthy turn and fade, as you may know. Recently decided to disc down to the Escape, which I'm really digging. It's got very controllable flight, still, the same great glide. So with that, I know you guys came out with a couple of new models pretty recently, the Getaway and the Musket, neither of which I've had a chance to throw so far, but I thought they might serve as maybe a good overstable bookend to my Escapes, whereas presently I'm throwing a Culverin for that particular hole. If you can give me a little bit more information on how maybe the Musket or the Getaway could potentially compare favorably to the Culverin, as kind of an Escape type disc, but a little bit more stability, thrown into a headwind or what have you. All right, thanks a lot and keep it real.
Nice.
I think the Getaway is exactly what you're looking for. I mean, it's when people ask what it is and how we explain the disc, we explain it as an Escape Pro,
Right.
like a more overstable version of the Escape. So if that's what you're looking for, a more stable Escape, then the Getaway is exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah. It honestly, too, depends on how much more stable you're looking for.
Because it's pretty stable.
Yeah, I'd say so here's the Escape on the right, here's the Getaway on the left. In between those is about where the Musket falls. So it does have a bit of turn for me, and then it usually came back, whereas the Escape will turn more than that and, maybe fight back to flat or something. The Getaway hardly turns for me at all unless I force it over, right? So it just depends on what degree you're looking to change it up. I'd say the Culverin straight out of the box is closer to a Getaway than it is to a Musket. It has that high-speed stability early, just like the Getaway does. So if you're looking for a straight replacement for your Culverin, Getaway is probably a good choice. If you want something slightly more overstable than your Escape but still pretty throwable, then I think the Musket would fit that bill, yeah.
Yep.
Next one comes. Next one comes from.
From Oops.
All right, Carly. Why can I throw a mid-range farther than my drivers? Is it my form or the way the disc is coming out? Any tips on how to fix it?
I guess it somewhat depends on. I mean, I don't know if it's a problem, but it depends on what drivers you're throwing too.
Yep.
Could be something a little more overstable, so you're not getting the right distance out of it. I can throw a lot of my mids. I mean, obviously not as far as I can throw my drivers,
Sure.
my distance drivers, but as far as I can throw a lot of my fairways.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and Danny and I talked about this a little bit last time, and he said something I think is that there's probably a couple of solutions to it, but if you're throwing your mids about as far as your distance drivers, then the most likely culprit is that you're throwing the disc too nose up.
Mm-hmm.
Nose up is a distance killer. That means that once the disc, if you can see the stamp while the disc is flying, then that disc is nose up, and it's not going to fly to its full potential. Something like a mid-range, which has a more rounded nose and is spinning a little bit slower, won't be affected quite as strongly by a nose-up release as a driver will, because it's spinning faster and wants to, if you don't get it up to speed, it's going to get to the ground. So I would focus on getting that nose down a little bit more, and then just develop your arm speed by just field work and making sure that that your release is flat. You can actually follow through up, which will help the disc to be released nose down, as long as you're not just following through straight up to the sky. You don't want to be swooping your arm in the middle, which that's usually what happens when people reach back high to follow through high.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of it kind of forms like a U shape, and that causes people to toss it too high. Do that.
Next one is from Mo Golfer 21.
Mo.
Missouri. He says, hello from Missouri. I came today not with a question, but with a thank you and kudos. My bag has been filled with a competitor's discs, the brand I was introduced to when I began playing. Recently, due to your online presence.
That's like the face you made in the one that was made of a meme when you were just thinking.
Yeah. I've become hooked on the Trilogy brands.
Nice.
Your weekly Disc Golf Answer Man talks, disc reviews, and Danny's tutorials have really gotten me into the brand, so much so that I am in the process of replacing all my old discs, which really keep up the good work. Thank you, Mo Golfer 21. We appreciate that.
Mo Golfer. Make a trip up here, and we'll help you pick some out.
We'll help you pick out Mo discs.
Oh.
Puns.
Jokes.
This one's from Chuck. In the last couple episodes, Bobby has mentioned removing the queen from his bag. I just recently purchased a Disc Golf Answer Man queen to hang on my wall. However, after throwing it, the disc refused to stop flying.
Dang.
I threw
Put it in and it just flies right back.
Yeah, I throw about a speed 8 to 10, so a speed 14 disc should not be in my bag. However, with a negative turn on the queen, would the disc be good? Wait, would this disc be for me? What the proof is for my 8-year-old son? Did not plan on bagging this disc at all, but it is my farthest flying disc and is now bagged. Which one? The queen that's on the wall or the proof?
Sounds like the queen. The proof is what his son throws.
Yeah, right.
Okay. What was his question?
I mean, if the disc flies great for you,
right,
bag it.
Don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about the numbers.
Yeah, because for me, and this is an opinion thing, but the queen doesn't feel like a speed 14 disc to me. I didn't think the rim was quite that wide when I threw it. And if your arm is a little bit slower, then having a high-speed understable disc might get you that little bit more distance if it's like pretty darn understable, which the queen is.
So here's why I took the queen out of my bag and the captain. Because I noticed that if I didn't play for a while, my form would suffer. And I'd get out there and I would throw something like a queen and it wouldn't throw like I remember. And I would get very frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And I began to wonder if it was because of the speed of the disc. Now, I know Robert said it's not quite 14, but it's not going to be a 10 or a 9.
No. It's fast.
Yeah, so it's a faster disc. So I started thinking, if I'm not going to play but maybe once or twice a week, if that, then why do I have these high-speed drivers in there when I seem to perform better with something that's more speed 10 or 11? And so that's why I decided not to have anything faster than a Trespass in there other than my Biofusion Enforcer and Defender, because if it's super windy, those are very trustworthy for me. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to just regular play, the Trespass is my overstable driver, my Renegade is my stable driver, and then my Maverick is my controllable driver for me.
Nice.
Next one comes from... Whoa. This one's from Shamalama Ding Dong.
Shamalama Ding Dong.
Recently, I developed a shank where I miss to the right of the basket. A lot. I have slowly increased the softness of my putter, going from a slicker plastic to softer plastic, in hopes that if I miss change to the right, the disc will grab and keep me in the change. That is, if I don't miss the basket altogether. Do you think the gummier plastic is staying in my hand longer and causing me to miss right versus the slicker plastic leaving my hand sooner and more online?
So Danny and I actually just did a video about this.
No way.
Maybe last week? Yeah, that was last week. It hasn't come out yet, but we are answering this question in that video.
Oh, nice.
The short answer is it doesn't matter if you're not hitting chains. The plastic could be the softest plastic that grabs the chains all you want, but if you're not hitting the chains, who cares? So for me, I will sacrifice a little bit of grabbing the chains for confidence of something in my hand. That's why I like a firmer plastic or even a blend plastic that feels comfortable, because I don't feel like it's going to wobble around in my hand. I don't feel like it's going to be affected by the wind quite as much. That's where I'm at on that. What say you?
I mean, it sounds like, to me personally, comfortability is the most important.
Yeah.
How it feels in the hand is the most important. Now, if you are having an issue with the softer, grippier plastic and pulling it right out of your hand, but you're not doing that with, say, the blend or the harder plastics, that would make me think. That would make me want to switch over.
Yeah, I'm probably not justifying the extra grab if I'm not hitting the chains, because at that point it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I don't believe that the softer, the grippier the plastic, it holds the chains and grips it and pulls it in.
Like maybe to a very small degree.
Yeah, but you still got to hit the line. You still got to put it on the right line and hit the basket in the sweet spot. So
yeah,
sacrifice it. The basket
and practice.
So we talked about this
basket
on the YouTube live video that we did before. But if you're listening to this on the audio and you like to watch a little bit of us kind of talking back and forth, we go live a few minutes before we actually start recording the audio podcast. So subscribe to us on YouTube so you can catch some of that. But I want to make sure our audio listeners know about our Dynamic Discs Disc Golf auction page. And this is a page, an auction style page, obviously, like it's in the name. For discs that we find that are rare or just really cool, have some really cool burst or something like that in it. But right now, or by the time you listen to this, it's going to be, how long does it last, 24 hours?
It depends, but usually it's 24 hours.
At the very least, 24 hours, right?
Yeah, at the least.
So at the very least, 24 hours. So if you go out to that page right now, you'll find a Warhorse, a Westside Disc Warhorse. This is a 1-of-1, which means it's an original.
Depends on when you listen to the show.
Oh, yes. If
it might already be up.
If it's like 4 or 5 days, then the chances are it may be gone already on the page. But if you happen to catch this right in time, you'll see that it is out there. It's a blue Warhorse. And why I'm telling you about this is, again, it's a 1-of-1. It's a pre-production, pre-prototype. Mold. It was the first mold they made, and they tested it out, and they actually made changes to the Warhorse after this mold. So it's one that...
Which is kind of...
Would it be PDJ
no,
proof?
It is definitely not.
It is definitely not PDJ
nope.
proof.
Same thing for like those V2 Captains that we had at GBO. Once it's retooled, nope.
Yeah. So it's not. So you can't throw it, but it is a piece of Westside Discs disc golf history, because it's something that if you're into that, if you're a collector and you like those rare, I know that's what people like. They just like knowing that it is a 1-of-1, and when they show off their collection, they have these. So
it comes with a COA as well.
Yep, certificate of authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yes.
That's the word.
So anyway, check that out, and also other things that we have on there. Join the Facebook page, follow the Facebook page, so you can see really cool stuff like that, and that'll be out there. We have one more Speak Pipe question.
Nice.
And this one is from Ryan.
Ryan.
Where you at, Ryan?
I want to give a good shout to my boys, Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, Mac McCabe, Robert McCall,
oh my gosh,
and the two boys in the back doing all the work that we all know they actually do. Come on, guys. You know, they're the ones putting it out there.
Correct.
First off, thank you, EMAC, for the Lucid X Trespass, because finally a trespass that I can trust in the wind. Awesome. Let me go ahead and team that up with my Tina Stenitis Hybrid Trespass. I've got every shot covered just there.
Boom.
And also thank you for the Prime Burst Deputies Moonshine. Oh, boys, these are fantastic. Can we please keep pumping those out? I can't find them enough to buy them fast enough. Anyway, here comes my question for you. My question comes about when to move up. I know it's a popular topic. It's one that comes up recurring. My upper advanced player. Really, it's time for me to do it. Go ahead, just jump in and do the open division. My question for you is, do it now at the end of the year, or wait until January, re-sign up as an open player and start 2019 fresh? Keep it real, guys. Let me know what you think. I feel like it's going to happen either now or it's going to happen in January. So you tell me what you think and what the pros and cons are of waiting or not waiting. Thank you all for what you do. Keep it real. Be dynamic.
Pro, you save a little bit money.
Con,
by waiting,
you lose a little bit of money.
You haven't done it now.
Oh man.
If it was me, I would do it now. Personally,
yeah. It depends. Are you winning every single tournament that you
that's a good
sign
question.
Up for?
And are there goals that you haven't accomplished in advance that you want to accomplish? Yeah. If so, wait.
You know, probably the most popular time for people when they move up is midsummer, right after Worlds, right after AM Worlds. They want to get another shot at it and try to win that title, and then they'll move up. Sure, if you want to do that, I would dabble here and there. You know, if you got a smaller local event that's you know, maybe not all the touring pros are at, that you can go and kind of dip in the water a little bit and see how you can stack up to those pros first before just diving in head first.
Right.
Like Robert said, it kind of depends on what your goals are as an advanced player before you move up. But I will say I've noticed a lot of players, when they do finally make that move and move up to play with better players, their game gets significantly better.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'd agree. And just because you play a tournament in Open doesn't mean that you have to play all of your tournaments in Open after that. Yep. Say there's a really big, an A tier or something like that you want to play advanced in later in the year. You can still do that, even if you play some pro tournaments in the meantime. Now, once you take cash, everything is different, but still. Now, if you want to move up in the middle of the year and you just say, I'm going to play Open for the rest of the year, you don't have to re-register as a professional right now. You can do that. You'll be forced to do that at the beginning of the year, yeah.
That's what I meant by save some money.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, I don't think you have to redo it. I would just, if you want to start playing, play now.
Do it.
Do it. Do it now.
Do it. All right, let's take a question from Google Form. This one is from, this is along the similar lines of what a couple of other questions. This one's about player image. Hey, guys, I'm 18 years old and aspire to be a pro someday. Currently, I'm 950 rated, and I'm working hard to get better every day. My question is it ever too early to try to start branding myself? I have a small logo that combines the letters of my first and last name that I draw on all my discs, and I have an Instagram page where I share all of my disc golf-related pictures. I do my best to keep a professional image as an amateur so I get the respect now and keep it in the future. So from the social media side, there's actually a topic or something that I share with a lot of the Team DD players, is that you are a brand whether you like it or not. So whether you think, should I start working on my brand? The fact is that because of social media and you put yourself out there all the time, if you're active on it, which it sounds like you are, you have already started creating a brand. So in a sense, it's never too early, because guess what? It's already started. So now you've got to decide on what you want your brand to be, how you want your image to look. Now, I'm not telling you to be fake, but what I'm telling you is that just because you can say something on social media doesn't mean you got to say everything that's on your mind. There's things that I say, there's things that I joke around that I would not put on social media. I just do it in my close circle of friends just because that's what I decide to do. But no, it's never too early, because you never know down the road, again, all of a sudden your rating starts going up and you get picked up by some manufacturer, and that's not the time to start creating yourself as a brand. The time is to start now. That way you've already got yourself established and you can take advantage as soon as a company says, yes, we want you part of our team. You can then now even go elevate yourself even higher as far when it comes to branding and marketing.
Plus that looks good from a manufacturer standpoint. That
very true.
You're easy to target, I guess, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, you're easy to promote.
Markets.
Yeah.
You're easy to market.
Yeah, you're much easier to market if you've already got yourself established for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say too. People say this about investments, right? A lot of times they say time in the market is more important than timing the market, right? Having your money in earlier is better than waiting for the exact right time and then getting your money
now.
In. Yeah, do it now. So I feel the same way about personal branding. Right? If you've done it well, the longer that you've done it, the better it is. Plain and simple. That's how a lot of people who are on YouTube start with a really, really small viewing, but then they're putting out quality content. They're branding themselves well, and it just grows and grows because they're doing the right thing. And the longer they've been doing that, the better it looks to prospective sponsors and things like that. So if it were up to me, I'd say time in the market is better than timing the market. Mm-hmm. Don't wait until then. Get in now, and you'll reap the if you're making that investment now, you'll reap the benefits of that.
Correct.
Excellent.
Hopefully, maybe you and here's I'm gonna keep it real. Are you ready?
I'm
gonna keep it real.
Keep it real.
Here it is. If your goal is to be a professional disc golfer, you can do that. If your goal is to be a touring professional disc golfer, the stars may not be aligned for you to do that because it's hard work, and it's a very, very small number of people who can do that full time. Right? Same thing goes with sponsorship. It may work out that you get a sponsor, and that's awesome. That's super duper cool. And maybe they pay some of your entries. Maybe they give you merchandise. Awesome. If it doesn't work out, know that there are a lot more people who are qualified to be sponsored than there are sponsorships available from each company, right? So don't get discouraged if you get passed up first couple of times on sponsorships, first couple of times like that. The more you do, the more appealing you're going to make yourself. If you do a good enough job, if you play well enough, yeah, that's going to happen. If it doesn't, at least you worked hard at it.
At least you tried.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say it like that, I guess.
No, yeah, but don't give it.
At least you tried.
Don't do it half-heartedly, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to give it your all, give it your all, and then you won't have any regrets about it. You did what you could do.
And I guess don't do it just with
sponsorship in mind.
Yes,
yeah, I agree.
Do it to better yourself.
Right. Yeah, that's
and the sport.
I agree. Yeah, and that's the difference between what are the mindsets? They call it a mastery mindset and an outcome-based mindset, something like that, where it's different. Your motivation, whether you're trying to achieve mastery, like you're trying to improve yourself, or you're just trying to reach like an end goal, which is to get sponsored. The way that you attack those is a little bit different. And you can achieve success if you have like a mastery mindset, even if you don't get sponsored, because you've improved yourself, because you've done something good, even if you don't reach that end goal of being sponsored. You know what I mean?
So yeah, it sort of reminds me of an interview I saw with Terry Crews.
Yeah,
you guys know
who
Terry
is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah,
big muscular
dude.
He was talking about how he's how he has.
He's funny, dude.
He's become really popular. Yeah. He's kind of in the in the scene. He's in a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows and stuff like that. And he was talking about how what he has enjoyed is that of course he wanted to succeed at everything he was doing, but he didn't conform to any certain stereotypes. He just was himself, and he can be himself whether he's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, whether he's in his movie or whatever, because whatever the himself he is what people want. So I guess the punchline there is you can't conform yourself to become sponsored by manufacturer XYZ, or conform yourself for ABC manufacturing company ABC, because then you're not being your true self.
Right.
Be your true self. Be who you are, and then if you're good enough, you can become part of a company.
I like it.
Does that make sense?
To me.
All right. Well, that's all we're going to talk about as far as disc golf questions. So thank you for submitting those questions. You can submit them to discgolfanswerman.com if you want to submit more. Real quick.
S'mores?
DQ has some new s'mores that the Blizzard, what does DQ call it?
Blizzard.
Is it a Blizzard?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's called a s'more one. Man, I almost got one this weekend, but I didn't.
Good story.
Good.
Good story.
Good story. Good story. I want to talk about skipbase.com. Now, I forgot to put my picks in.
I haven't done it in I don't know
Eric
how long.
has given up.
I've been gone. I'm sorry.
Did Robert put his picks in?
No.
Nobody put their picks in?
I was going to pick Paul. Maybe Johnny can just go ahead and put mine on for me.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna pick
List
him.
these for me.
I was gonna pick Ricky.
Drew.
Drew. I forgot about
who
Drew.
else?
Yeah. Hokum was my pick this week.
Yeah. So, but to the person that did win with the San Francisco Open, his name is Phil Bernese Moore. He got 1201, 1,201 points. He picked Sarah Hokum as the winner.
Nice.
So that got him some big points. Jessica Weiss.
I'll say that course, just watching it online, the videos I've seen, there was an awful lot of left to right finishing holes out there.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised to see Hokum do really well out there. And it's like tight gaps, so she does that really well. Throws out of the gap really nice. And, did you notice that at all, that there was a lot of finishing
I only
holes?
saw a few of the holes.
Okay, so you didn't. Okay.
Yeah, haven't watched the whole lot of it just yet.
It looked like
I
a lot
watched
of
it
right
either.
finish. It looked like a fun course.
Yeah.
Jessica Weiss got him 180 points. Well, who got second? Was it Paige and
Katrina?
Paige
got
and
second.
Katrina tied for second.
and then Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
So that got him a lot of points.
I thought so. Is that right?
Pretty sure.
He actually didn't pick
You
Paul
would know.
Macbeth.
You would know. He did not?
No,
he did.
But he picked Eagle, Bradley, Drew, and Greg, which all got him pretty good points.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So good on Phil. So Phil, if you want to take a snapshot or screenshot of you being logged into skipace.com, we will send you a disc and a hat maybe, or
one of these,
a brand new car.
Ooh.
Or no, we will not send you a
Do
brand
we
new car.
have those?
Brand new cars?
Yeah.
No.
well, maybe.
No, we'll send you some goodies out to you. So make sure when you send your email, put your
We'll send
mailing
you
address.
a 94 Ford Explorer.
Yeah. The green in the back.
It has not been driven really hard. It's in perfect shape.
So did you guys? So you watched the Masters? Did you watch just the final round or?
Of San Francisco?
Yeah.
I watched it live. Yeah.
Oh, you
On
watched
and
it
off.
live?
I watched the live footage on and off. Yeah.
I watched a little bit of it Sunday, not a whole lot.
That's what I watched a little bit of it then.
Majority
of it. It was on all day, and I was just doing some housework. And
Sarah Hokum got that ace on hole
I don't
3
know
or
what
4,
it was, but it made Sports Center. Pretty
Not
cool.
when I saw it, it was number 9 on the top 10 Sports Center.
Yep.
That's really
Yep.
cool.
That was awesome.
And
Yeah.
it was on ESPN Snapchat.
Ah, yes. Someone posted that it was on the Snapchat. That's really cool. I think it's really cool when that type of stuff happens.
Yeah.
But when you watched it, Eric, what was your overall feel of the? I mean, I know you mentioned about the left to right holes, but anything else that you noticed about the tournament that was happening?
I was surprised. Of course, I have been out of the loop a little bit, and I heard San Francisco Open or Safari or whatever. I was assuming it was at Golden Gate Park.
Right. Yeah. Different course.
Like always, because they have an event there every year. I'm pretty sure that's where the event is every year at least. And when I saw it was on a golf course, I'm like, oh, all right, cool. That's I like that. It's going in the right direction in my opinion. I thought and I'm on a page on Facebook that has the Disc Golf Pro Tour pros on it, and they were doing feedback on it. A lot of people had good things to say about the course, so it seemed like it was in great shape. It was windy. It looked like it was really windy. And people always talk about Emporia being windy, but it seems like every tournament that is everywhere is windy. I mean, it's just kind of silly.
Yeah.
But no, it looked like a good time. It's one of those I want to put on my radar to potentially go play next year.
Yeah. When I was watching it, a little bit that I watched, I started getting what's the opposite for homesick?
Away sick?
You had wanderlust.
Wanderlust. That's what. Because I would see people. Oh man, I want to be out there among the action. I want to be close to the action and what's going on and stuff like that. So I'm ready to do some traveling again for disc golf.
Nice.
Of course, it'll be a
I
couple.
leave to tomorrow. You want to go?
Can I go in the suitcase? Yeah. What is next up in Skip Ace?
Beaver State?
It would have to be. I don't know if they're doing an A tier between that.
Beaver State Fling is the next one. That is June 8th. So
BSF.
not this weekend. So we'll hold off on talking about Beaver State until we get a little bit closer.
Yep.
So we'll talk about it on the next episode. And
I love that tournament.
We'll get our picks in. Now, why do you love that tournament so much?
It is
so bad.
It's what every tournament wants to be.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I always hear good stuff about it.
The location is amazing. Who doesn't want to be in Portland, Oregon?
I don't. No, play.
Wow.
I
All
do.
right.
Face.
It's amazing. The courses are awesome. It's like it's a good mix of some of the wooded holes there I could do without. There's a couple of them that are just kind of like a little weird poke and hope type weird. Like one of the holes, the shot's like a forehand roller down the hill. So there's a couple shots like that. But the more open wood style par fours are some of the best in the sport.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's right by the Clackamas River, and people will float down the river, and it's just just a whole experience.
I want to go to that event.
It's a bucket list event.
Yeah, I'd be all about that.
Cool. So we'll talk about that on next week's episode. But I want to wrap up with.
We got a few board questions here. If
oh
that's
yeah.
all right.
Well, so hang on tight, audio listeners. We're gonna go on our Facebook Live and we're gonna answer some questions there. What do we got?
All right. So here's a
Facebook, YouTube. Sorry.
Here's a disc golf question. Sean says, "Is it possible that getting stronger can throw your timing off?"
Sure. Absolutely.
I think it's possible. I think what would be wise would be to, if you're going to start lifting weights and implementing that sort of regimen, keep throwing at the same time so that you continue developing muscle and you keep your form loose as you go. That's what I would say to that. If you take 2 months off in the winter and only lift weights and then come back to playing disc golf, yeah, it's probably going to throw your timing a little bit.
I'll tell you something that's on a more personal note.
Yeah. You're getting stronger?
I'm getting stronger.
Dang.
By the minute.
No. Oh, wow.
No, so I've been on a kick of eating a lot less carbs.
Dude, good on you.
A lot less carbs, and I've lost a little bit of weight. I'm trying to lose more weight.
Yeah.
But back when I was marathon training, I had, at one point, I was at my heaviest that I've been, and I got down to the smallest I'd been, and at that point, I had lost 92 pounds.
Dang.
Okay. So now I've obviously gained quite a bit back, but at that, I do remember when I was at my smallest that it did affect my throw.
Mm-hmm.
I can, yeah. Yep.
I mean, I would go, it would be a while, and I'd have, it'd be like 20 or 30 pounds between losing and playing because I was doing a lot of training for marathon, and I would notice that timing was off. Something was off. It just felt, and I was like, and people would say, you've got to learn how to rethrow again because you've lost so much weight. So
yeah.
I would imagine that that's kind of in the similar vein of learning to rethrow.
I think so, for sure.
What else we got?
Here's another one. These guys want to know what you guys thought of Solo.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about
Oh, we didn't talk about Solo. Real quick, Andrew says, did Bobby run a full marathon? Yes, I did. I ran, when I did my training, I ran 2 half marathons, a lot of 5K and 10Ks, and 1 full marathon. Now, to be technical, I ran probably 17 miles of it. The rest were kind of resting in between and stuff like that because 26 miles is no joke.
That's a lot. That's sick, man. That's super cool.
What'd you think of Solo?
All right.
I've been waiting to hear this.
Here we go. So I went in. I only read a few people's reviews. I didn't read any professional reviews, and I say professional like reading online or critics and stuff like that. But I read a few people's Facebook because it's just hard to avoid sometimes when you're thumbing through. And so a lot. I'd read probably 2 or 3 people that said they liked it. And one guy said that it was kind of typical Disney's ruined Star Wars.
Blah, blah,
so
blah.
I was like, All right.
Uh-oh. You hated it?
I did not hate it. I enjoyed it for a action movie.
Mm-hmm.
I did not enjoy it as a Star Wars movie.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I loved all the references. I loved the dice. I loved, of course, seeing the Millennium Falcon.
Are we doing spoilers?
Oh, yeah. Spoiler alert. If you have not seen Solo, A Star Wars Story, stop listening, stop watching.
Danny just
I was like, why is Danny
left the
leaving?
room.
Danny's left the room. That's funny. So anyway, they had a lot of references to the dice. It was kind of cool seeing how Han Solo and Chewbacca met.
Yeah, I didn't care for that.
Oh, you
scene.
didn't?
No, not. I mean, it was okay, but I didn't like that part of it. But
Did you want something like more on a deeper level type?
A little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit. It was just kind of weird how it
happened.
Yeah, like all of a sudden he's. Yeah, I'm friendly now that I'm out. I mean,
yeah,
he was eating people.
That's true. Wow, I didn't thought about that perspective, but yeah. So, he really is. Danny's covering his ears because he hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, he can go outside if he needs to. He don't need him for this.
Well, he's
scene.
got to switch. He's got to switch the camera.
Okay.
So he took his headphones off. He's got his ears plugged. So anyway, that aspect was. I didn't get that perspective.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I didn't like is it didn't feel like at least with the newer Star Wars, they had some character development with Rey. It felt like.
Yeah.
They didn't, and with Finn, they did not have that with Emilia Clarke's character. And and it felt like Lando Calrissian. Like they assumed that we already knew who Lando was, so they didn't do much character development there. Woody Harrelson's character, not much character. Not much character development there. So it felt lacking in that way. But I had fun. It was a good flick to see on the theater.
I felt like the first half of it didn't even feel like a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get that feel from it. Then it kind of changed a little bit throughout, and there were times when I thought, forgive me, I forget the actor's name, but I thought he did a really good Han Solo. Like there were scenes in it where I was like, wow, that does seem like a young Harrison Ford.
I tried to make sure that I didn't compare him to Harrison Ford because I didn't want to ruin it.
But I will say
there were hints of Harrison Ford.
Glover killed Lando.
Oh, he did good.
That was amazing.
Yeah, he did.
His Lando was amazing.
So
amazing.
Yeah, Hayden Moore says,
I enjoyed it.
I just think this movie wasn't necessary. And I actually read a review that said...
we'll get used to that because you're going to think that for
Boba Fett coming out.
They got
talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan first, and then Boba Fett, and then something else. I heard Lando's going to get his own movie, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a
where he walks around and says, "This is America." Is that what you want?
Yeah, this is America. Whatever he does in the video. So anyway, to Hayden's point, I don't think the movie was necessary. You're right. In fact, the reviewer said it correctly. He said, "Solo is the Star Wars movie we didn't need." Oh, now I'm screwing it up. He said it really well. The way it's a Star Wars movie
that wasn't necessary,
that we didn't need, but was fun to watch. I don't know. Anyway, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
It was like we didn't need it. It was a fun movie. Now, I did read an article. Now, this is all afterwards that said that they felt like the numbers aren't there for the opening weekends weren't that strong or as strong as they thought for a Star Wars movie, and they felt like it was too soon, which I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean the other one just came out.
It was like 5.5 months ago or something
December.
like that. Yeah,
Christmas.
So that's the thing. So.
I don't know. I enjoyed it, but I'm a fan, so I'm probably gonna enjoy it. You know, so I don't know. The critics or whatever. The worst thing about Star Wars is the fans.
Yeah, that's true.
The critics. If you go to anything like a review and go read the comments, oh my gosh! If you're a fan, you're gonna be offended probably, but it is what it is. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Any other questions, Robert? Do you remember seeing in there for disc golf? Real quick, Scott asked, "Are the episodes always the same day and time?" Yes, we typically try to do the live on Tuesdays at around 2 p.m. Central, and then put out the audio version the next day on Wednesday. Now we try to do that, but sometimes there's travel involved. Like Eric's traveling starting tomorrow, so he's not always available to be on the show. If I'm traveling, then there isn't a show, but because there's a lot of technical stuff that I run, and then that Danny does in the background now with the live stuff.
And if Robert's traveling, we throw a party.
Yeah, if Robert's traveling, we try to record as many episodes as we can without him here.
One question per episode. Went through 100 episodes.
We just get in detail from that one.
What about the Ewoks? There was Ewoks in there?
I don't think so.
I don't remember seeing.
There was no Ewoks in that movie. I'd love the ending though. Are you familiar with Clone Wars at all?
No.
Okay, Danny, I'm sorry.
What?
Are you familiar with Clone Wars? Well, okay.
I mean, I know.
Danny, you may want to close your ears on this one if you're really concerned about spoilers and stuff. The timeline of when it happened, as opposed to like
the Darth Maul,
showing up.
Yeah.
Because he was already killed at that point.
Right.
In episode 1 or whatever it was. But if you follow Clone Wars, the cartoon, they go into more detail on
him,
on that storyline. They had a lot of Clone Wars references in the movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched. I did watch a video where a guy he connects the dots with a lot of things. He talked about how Darth Maul had mechanical legs put on or something like that, or something because he actually survived.
Like robotic, yeah.
The Obi-Wan cutting him in half. Deadpool 2. Someone asked if we watched Deadpool 2.
I haven't seen it yet, but I want to.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Nope.
Where can I order an Opto X Explorer and Lucid X EMAC Truth online?
The answer to that, EMAC Truth, is probably just on
You'll have to just do
auction pages in search and things like that. Opto X Explorer is not released yet. That will be released to retailers.
The Opto X Explorer? Is that what he said? I thought he said Enforcer.
Nah, he said Explorer.
Okay.
Don't hold me to this. Probably August, September, somewhere in there. We will have some available through the Dynamic Discs online store, but a lot of those will go to your local retailers.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. Any other questions on the chat real quick before we'll give you a couple seconds because I know there's a delay, and we'll end this episode for YouTube Live. And
Sean,
I know you audio guys are just hanging in there.
Sean says, poor Robert. And thank you, Sean.
Why poor Robert?
It's a hard because you said when I leave, you record a bunch of episodes and rejoice. It's really mean. Just stop it. I'm just kidding.
Let's see. All right, so
that's about it.
What's going on? Eric's or Jeremy, Pete, Robert, that guy right there.
You said this Eric first.
Oh, did I say Eric?
You said Eric first.
Eric's going to Alaska.
Have you met him?
Alaska.
Robert's going personal stuff.
Personal stuff.
Personal stuff.
Yeah,
that sounds like it's bad. He's going. He's going.
Well, but
he's got some personal issues he needs to take care of.
Yeah.
So he'll be gone.
No, you're going to work in Alaska. I didn't know if Robert wanted to say to everybody.
I'm pretty sure I've said.
Oh, okay.
My wife and I are celebrating our 5-year anniversary.
Okay.
It was a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's about right. And we are taking a trip to Utah. So we're going to go hike and
okay, so you know specific. You have like activities already? Or like what are you going to do? Just hike?
A whole,
are you gonna wing
lot of
it,
hiking.
or do you have it like? Do you have a schedule?
Yeah. Shay's got a schedule for us. Yeah, we're going to go to the Arches National Park there and
fun.
just see the stuff
and then arch it up.
Mm-hmm. I'm taking 4 frisbees with me. I'm very doubtful that I'll actually get to play, but just to have some.
First time to Utah, or this first time Utah.
What are your 4 discs?
I have a Getaway, an EMAC Truth, and 2 Wardens.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's a solid lineup.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I think it'll be fun. And I hear there's a super cool course up there. Who knows if we'll have time to play or not, but if we do, I'll be ready. If not, no big.
Cool.
Nice. I am playing in the Tulsa AM Jam.
Dude,
I forgot you were going to get Torchies.
And I'm going to get Torchies.
AM Jam. When is it? Is that this weekend?
I'll toast one to you on Snapchat.
Yeah.
This weekend, yes.
This week?
Pour one out for your fallen homies.
Yeah, 2 rounds on Saturday, 1 round on Sunday. And I believe I'm going to take the RV, and I'm the only one going because nobody else wants to play.
Ooh.
Anthony, he's not even here.
Are you nervous?
Get him out of here, dude.
I'm a little nervous. They actually, the way they do it's differently is a little different. They have, there isn't just rec division. They have it spread up, divided up into how you're rated.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're rated under 800, you're in a certain division.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
And if I'm in the 850 or under, yes, I am a 810 rated player.
My name is Bobby, and I am an 810 rated player.
I think it's funny when people make fun of that.
Hello, Bobby.
And they're like, why are you on the show? I'm like, that's the whole reason I'm on the show, because I'm the guy that plays barely. So, anyway, we're going to play, of course, the DeVillio.
DeVillio and Hunter.
In Hunter Park and McClure Park.
Okay.
So I'm excited to play.
I haven't played Hunter in a long time. That's one of my favorite Tulsa courses.
A rated round. Which one, Hunter?
Hunter.
Yeah, it's a good park. So I'm super excited. So I will report some actual disc golf play when I get back.
What's your goal?
What do you mean?
What's your goal
for the tournament?
2 under par. I don't know.
I meant like to play above your rating, to cash, to win, to lose, to have a good time.
Have a good time. My goal. That's a fair
something
question.
Something losers say.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
My goal.
Oh, you don't plan to win? Yeah. I plan to enjoy myself.
This is probably probably a bad way to look at it, but usually when I play, usually I play Advanced Masters, but I get last place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know I'm going to get last.
You're consistent.
I'm not going to get last place.
There it is, dude. You're not.
I was looking at my competition, and
don't worry about your competition.
Oh, you want to
Bobby?
call some people out?
No, don't worry about your competition.
I don't know anybody,
dude. This is Bobby. I'm telling you right now, this can only go poorly.
Yes,
you're gonna say some people's names who are rated lower than you, and they're gonna beat you in the tournament.
I know.
Don't say it. Just say you're not going to finish last.
I'm not going to finish last.
That's your goal.
I'm going to finish above. No, I'm playing.
And if it looks like I'm going to finish last, I'm going to quit.
I'm going to quit.
That's right. Take the old 888 without notice.
No, I just don't want to finish last. I want to finish somewhere in the middle. It'd be kind of nice. Yep. I'm going to go out. I'm actually going out there Thursday night. Going to stay the night, and I'm actually going to practice the courses.
Practice?
Get some practice in. Get signed in, and have a good time on Saturday and Sunday. And see what I can do.
Drink lots of water. It's going to be hot.
It's I think it's going to be in the hundreds on Sunday.
Lots and lots of water. Where I'm going, it's going to be in the 50s.
Dang. Oh, well, check me out. I go to Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
I'm awesome.
50s.
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
Is there going to be snow on the ground? Is there
50s.
still snow on the ground right now where you're at?
No. There's not.
Worked out
No,
quite
sir.
well.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, I think that's all we got, right?
Yeah, we good.
Thanks, guys. We will see you next time.
Yes.